Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're really plunging into a pretty intense world of international intrigue and, covert operations.
Yeah.
We've meticulously gone through a stack of sources that, well, they pull back the curtain on that murky intersection of politics and intelligence.
Right.
And our mission today is basically to extract the most critical nuggets of knowledge from all this. Think of it as your shortcut to really understanding the complex dance between nations
Hmm.
and the shadowy individuals who execute their most dangerous directives.
Absolutely. And this deep dive, it won't just unveil some surprising facts, but it's also going to crucially challenge your assumptions about how global power is actually wielded.
Yeah,
We'll be looking at situations where, the lines between right and wrong get really blurry.
very blurry.
And the rules of engagement, well, they're constantly being rewritten. You'll find yourself questioning the true motivations and methods way beyond the headlines.
Definitely. And for this deep dive, our sources come mainly from excerpts of a political thriller novel, Protect and Defend. Now, okay, it's fiction,
Right, behind keep away.
but we're going to treat the scenarios, the characters, as if they're factual content. That lets us really explore the mechanics and, honestly, the profound implications of events like these in a real-world context.
A useful framework.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this. Our story kicks off in the heart of Iran with a clandestine operation that sets off a truly explosive chain reaction across the globe.
Okay.
So our scenario starts in Iran. Billions are being poured into a nuclear program. Publicly, the line is peaceful energy,
Of course.
but privately, it seems clear the underlying goal is nuclear weapons, which, it seems deceptive, especially given their huge oil and gas reserves, right?
Absolutely. That's the tell, isn't it? Makes nuclear energy kind of an economic non-starter for them, really.
Precisely.
And this is exactly where Israel enters the picture. They initiate what the sources describe as one of the most creatively audacious espionage operations ever conceived.
And the method of infiltration is just ingenious.
It really is in its simplicity. You have a Mossad operative, Adam Shoshan, posing as a janitor, Moshe Norasta.
Get this, he gained access to this top secret facility just by being the fix-it guy.
Fixing appliances for the staff. He even apparently befriended the head of security, Ali Farahani.
Incredible. And here's where we get a key insight, right? Shoshan used his lifelong hobby, tinkering with electronics.
Yeah, the sources detail how it started with, like, a complaint about bad TV reception.
And it snowballed.
Exactly. He ends up fixing microwaves, air conditioners, everything. He becomes indispensable.
So indispensable, they give him his own space.
Right. A large, unused storage room on the third sublevel for his makeshift repair shop.
Wow.
And it was there, by sort of subtly cultivating a relationship with the chief engineer, Cyrus Amidafar,
Ah, okay.
that Shoshan found the facility's structural plans. And that piece of intelligence completely changed their approach. No airstrike needed.
Fascinating. So what was the plan then?
Well, his sabotage plan was pretty ingenious. It involved using counterfeit emergency lighting units.
Okay.
Packed with new thermobaric explosives.
Yeah.
And these aren't your standard explosives.
How so?
They're designed for underground spaces. They literally suck the oxygen out of the air, create this huge vacuum effect. Much more powerful than conventional stuff in that environment.
So the objective wasn't just to blow things up from the outside.
No, not at all. It was to cause what the source calls a pancake effect.
Pancake effect.
Yeah, by strategically blowing out key internal support columns between, I think it was the fourth and second subfloors.
So basically collapsing the upper floors onto the critical areas below.
Exactly, smashing the centrifuge facility and the reactor into, a radioactive mess, turning it all into rubble.
Brutal. And this brings us to a really crucial moment in the operation, right? A sort of aha moment.
Shoshan speeds up the attack timeline, spontaneously.
Why? What happened?
He saw someone unexpected visiting the facility. Hezbollah master terrorist Imad Mukhtar.
Wow. That would certainly raise alarms.
Big time. For Shoshan, this confirmed Israel's absolute worst fear, that Iran might actually be planning to give nuclear bombs to stateless terrorist groups like Hezbollah.
And that forced his hand.
It seems so. This scenario really underscores how critical, human intuition and quick pivots can be in intelligence ops. It's not always about sticking rigidly to the plan.
That on-the-ground adaptability is key.
Definitely. A powerful lesson there.
So the immediate aftermath, devastating, I assume.
Completely. The attack created what's described as a radioactive tomb. an environmental disaster right in the middle of Isfahan, Iran's second-largest city.
And the official reaction?
Publicly, the Iranian government blamed Israel and the U.S. demanded retribution. Privately, though, their leader, President Ahmadullah, was apparently furious, wanted blood.
And there's a human cost shown, too, even within the regime.
Yeah, there's this tragic element with the Iranian intelligence minister, Azad Ashani. He developed serious health problems.
Dust.
Exactly. Coughing, fits from inhaling concrete dust. The sources even explicitly reference the respiratory issues seen with 9/11 rescue workers at Ground Zero.
Wow. That really drives home the environmental and health impact, doesn't it? Even on people you wouldn't expect.
It does. It's a stark reminder of the wider consequences.
Okay, so as the dust is literally settling in Iran, another major player enters the scene, Mitch Rapp.
Ah, yes. America's top counterterrorism operative.
Described as, well, unique-looking, kind of disheveled, but incredibly direct, no nonsense.
That's the picture painted. And interestingly, before this whole Isfahan crisis blows up, Rapp's already on another mission, a very different, very personal one almost, in Costa Rica.
Targeting Stu Garrett.
This narcissistic political operative who, according to the source, put his party and himself above the country, rigged an election.
And caused deaths.
Dozens, including Jillian Rockport and 14 others in a motorcade bombing. Garrett's philosophy was basically that the victory belongs to whoever is bold enough to just seize it.
Chilling. And Rapp's methods for dealing with him.
Cold. Calculating. He goes to Puerto Golfito specifically to kill Garrett, but make it look like an accident.
How?
He ends up drowning him. Bear hugs him underwater, performs a Heimlich maneuver to force the air out of his lungs. It's incredibly brutal and hands-on.
Wow. And the source contrasts this with someone else who wanted Garrett dead.
Yeah, Maria Rivera, a former Secret Service agent, expert marksman. She desperately wanted the kill.
But Rapp wouldn't let her.
No. He apparently deemed her too motivated, personally involved, and lacking the specific practical experience for what he called the most difficult kind of kill. Bare hands.
That level of detachment, it's something else. Especially for such a close-quarters physical act. What does that tell you about the psychology required for someone like Rapp?
Well, it really speaks to a very specific psychological profile, doesn't it? Maybe a level of desensitization or compartmentalization that allows an operative to execute something like that without hesitation.
It's almost surgical.
Exactly. For Rapp, it seems it wasn't personal anger driving him in that moment. It was the mission objective, pure execution.
That clarity of purpose is definitely a theme. Okay, so from that intense personal act, we shift back to the bigger picture. The global fallout from Isfahan.
Right. We're on Air Force One now. President Alexander described as a former backup quarterback from Alabama.
Quite the image.
Isn't it? He expresses a clear desire to, quote, blitz Iran. He fully gets behind Rapp's proposed strategy.
Which was?
To take the blame off Israel, and crucially, to expose the Iranian leadership for the lying bastards that they are.
So it's about narrative control.
Explicitly. The source says it was about creating an alternative truth on the global stage, shaping perceptions.
A masterclass in strategic communication, perhaps?
You could say that. And to put this strategy into action, the U.S. moves fast. CIA Director Irene Kennedy is sent to the region.
Her mission?
To establish a backdoor channel with Azad Ashani, Iran's intelligence chief. Kennedy apparently considered him pretty level-headed.
Is there history there?
Yes. This channel had been opened previously after 9/11 because Iran and the U.S. had a sort of shared interest in combating certain Sunni terrorist groups.
It shows those complex, sometimes counterintuitive alliances in the intelligence world, doesn't it?
It really does. Strange bedfellows sometimes.
Meanwhile, Rapp isn't setting up back channels. He's having a more direct conversation.
Very direct. A confrontational meeting in Tel Aviv with the Mossad Director General, Ben Friedman.
About Israel's involvement in Isfahan.
Exactly. Friedman initially denies everything, naturally.
But Rapp has leverage.
Oh, yeah. Rapp hits him with, I've got a friend in your building.
Ah, a clear reference to Shoshan, the operative.
Precisely. Friedman knows the game is up. Faced with that, he reluctantly agrees to stay silent, basically providing diplomatic cover for Israel.
It's a stark look at those cynical power dynamics, isn't it? Trust is fragile, leverage is everything.
Absolutely, a currency all its own.
Okay, so with that stage set, Kennedy heads off on her mission to Mosul, Iraq.
Right. And the source paints a grim picture of Mosul, a place of profound lawlessness.
Yeah, it uses that wild comparison, doesn't it? Saying it's like a place where even Yankees and Red Sox fans would kill each other.
Ha! Yeah, it certainly highlights the incredibly dangerous, fractured environment she was walking into for this secret meeting.
But the mission goes wrong. Badly wrong.
Disastrously. Kennedy's motorcade is ambushed. Her entire security detail, shot execution style,
And Kennedy.
kidnapped. This whole incident really hammers home a critical distinction, the brutal, often lawless reality of covert ops abroad.
Compared to home.
Exactly. The standard rules engagement, the legal frameworks we expect, they just don't apply in the same way out there. It's a different moral calculus when national security is perceived to be on the line.
Back in Washington, this causes immediate conflict, right? Inside the administration.
Big time. CIA Deputy Director Chuck O'Brien, Attorney General Pete Weber, they're deeply worried about Rapp's methods even before this.
What kind of methods?
Things mentioned include shooting a wounded policeman, stabbing a prisoner in the shoulder, threatening castration during interrogations.
Okay, yeah, that's extreme.
So O'Brien and Weber are arguing Rapp is out of control, worried about the massive legal implications.
But the president.
President Alexander, unwavering, he gives Rapp a direct order. 24 hours, no questions asked, just cover your tracks.
And the objective?
Simple, bring her back, even if she's dead.
Wow. That absolute commitment, regardless of the means.
It ties right back into that theme, doesn't it? Does the end justify the means in these incredibly high-stakes national security situations? It's a constant ethical tightrope in these stories.
Meanwhile, Kennedy's enduring her captivity, and it sounds horrific.
It's described as truly awful.
Yeah.
Stripped, physically abused, kicked, slapped, utterly humiliated, forced to urinate in a bucket while guards leer at her.
And they're trying to break her psychologically, too.
Yes, pressuring her constantly to read this propaganda statement, blaming the U.S. for Isfahan, for invading Iraq, for oil, standard stuff, but under duress.
But she refused.
Courageously refused, even when they threatened her with rape by, quote, 20 men.
Her resolve under that kind of pressure is incredible. It's psychological warfare.
Absolutely. A testament to her strength, as depicted.
And while all this is happening personally to Kennedy, the global crisis is escalating.
Dramatically. An Iranian frigate, the Sabalan, is sunk in the Strait of Hormuz.
And Iran immediately points the finger.
At the U.S., President Amatullah calls it a blatant act of war.
But the U.S. pushes back.
Publicly and definitively.
Yeah.
President Alexander refutes the accusation, sets up this immediate clash of narratives.
And then Alexander holds this press conference you mentioned earlier.
Yes, a very powerful one. He presents satellite imagery. Not just any images, but ones showing the Isfahan facility failed from the inside. You can apparently see fissures, cracks from space. Not consistent with an external attack.
Undermining Iran's story.
Completely. Then he drops the real bombshell.
Which is?
The USS Virginia, U.S. nuclear sub, was in the area and recorded Iran's own Kilo-class submarine, the Yuns, firing the torpedo that sank the Sabalan, their own ship.
Wow. Talk about turning the tables.
Exactly. This whole sequence is just a profound insight into how these alternative truths are manufactured and weaponized by both sides.
So Alexander uses this evidence.
Absolutely. He declares Kennedy's abduction an act of war, raises the defense readiness condition DEFCON to 3.
Which is significant.
Very significant increase in military readiness. And he deploys the USS Reagan Strike Group to the region. He uses this firm language. I refuse to speculate what it is exactly that President Amatullah is up to, but I will not tolerate such brazen aggression.
It's textbook aggressive perception management, using proof to seize control of the narrative.
Precisely. A master stroke in information warfare, as presented here.
Okay, so the clock is ticking for Kennedy. Rapp needs information fast.
And he initiates his interrogation of the captured Iranians, Corporal Tamina Rashid Dadarshi.
And his methods are ruthless.
Extremely. The sources detail his use of, well, extreme psychological tactics, like showing them the severed penis of another prisoner, Ali Abbas.
Good Lord.
Yeah. To break them and extract information on Kennedy's location, it's chillingly efficient, underscoring just how far Rapp operates beyond any normal rulebook.
But then there's a turning point involving Ashani, the Iranian intelligence minister.
Yes, Azad Ashani plays a truly pivotal role here. He's become completely disillusioned.
By his own president.
By Amatullah's lies, his recklessness, ordering the sinking of the Sabalan, framing the U.S., and then indirectly implicating Ashani himself in Kennedy's kidnapping.
So Ashani decides to act.
He does. He provides Rapp with crucial intelligence. Imad Mukhtar's satellite phone numbers.
That's huge. But for Ashani, that's a massive internal conflict, surely.
Absolutely. It's portrayed as this powerful moment. Is he committing treason against his president? Or is it a desperate act of patriotism, trying to prevent a catastrophic war for the greater good of Iran?
It really highlights the intense personal stakes for people caught in these massive geopolitical games.
It really does. Profound choices.
So, armed with Ashani's intel, Rapp launches the rescue mission.
A very daring one. He goes disguised in clerical robes, borrowed from his contact, Stillwell.
Undercover again.
Yep, wearing body armor underneath, carrying suppressed pistols. He infiltrates the Great Mosque in Mosul.
How does he find her within the mosque?
He uses a mix of money and pure intimidation. He even shoots a bodyguard point blank to force the Imam Husseini, to talk.
And the Imam breaks.
Yes, reveals Kennedy is being held in the mosque's catacombs and gives up Mukhtar's location too. Rapp's audacity and just sheer single-minded focus are incredible. The final confrontation, the rescue itself.
Swift. Brutal. Rapp finds Mukhtar's guard abusing Kennedy and shoots him in the chest.
And that's the culmination of Rapp's mission, right? Finding Kennedy after everything she's endured.
Okay.
A direct result of his extreme, no-holds-barred approach.
Absolutely. But what about Mukhtar, the terrorist leader?
Rapp doesn't forget him. He tracks Mukhtar to Tripoli, Lebanon, using that dossier Shoshani provided.
And the confrontation?
It's just as brutal and precise as you'd expect from Rapp. He confronts Mukhtar, strangles him with a belt, breaking his windpipe.
And makes it look like
A suicide. Hangs him. It's Rapp's cold, efficient form of justice. A final definitive end to that particular threat.
chilling. So what's the aftermath of all this?
Well, about a week later, Ashani visits Kennedy back at Langley, CIA headquarters.
To apologize.
Offers his sincerest apologies for his country's actions. Kennedy, ever the diplomat, hopes the whole ordeal might actually lead to better relations. She says something like, a lack of communications only allows the zealots to advance their ideas.
But Rapp isn't buying it.
Characteristically skeptical. He points out Iran's continued funding of Hezbollah. For him, the threat hasn't really gone away.
So it highlights that enduring tension, doesn't it? The long, difficult road to any real reconciliation when there's so much deep-seated mistrust. Good intentions often aren't enough.
Exactly. That skepticism lingers.
So wrapping this up, what does this all really mean? We've seen how international politics can just spiral into this world of high-stakes espionage, where individuals like Mitch Rapp, like Adam Shoshin, operate with, frankly, extreme autonomy and deadly efficiency.
Yeah, the pursuit of national security, maybe revenge, it gets all tangled up with personal conviction, political maneuvering, and so much of it happens completely in the shadows.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it really reveals a world where information itself is a potent weapon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And these alternative truths we talked about are constantly being spun by all sides to control narratives, justify actions.
It really compels you, the listener, to question things, doesn't it? How often are events we see presented as clear-cut incidents actually the result of these incredibly complex, morally ambiguous covert ops that we just never hear about?
You have to wonder. And we also saw the immense personal cost.
Yeah, on the individuals caught in the middle, from the innocent victims of political games.
Yeah, the agents carrying out the orders and the officials like Kennedy or Ashani trying to navigate these incredibly treacherous waters. The human toll is just profound. So this deep dive, it really leaves you pondering, I think, in a world driven by these shadowy power plays, this relentless pursuit of what nations perceive as their interests.
Yeah.
What are the actual long-term consequences?
Yeah, consequences of these high-stakes actions on international relations, on that delicate balance of global power.
Exactly. How do the behind-the-scenes actions of just a few individuals, operating often with extreme autonomy, how do they truly shape the destinies of millions? Something to think about.